Hello. Friday morning. The weekend is approaching. Beautiful. Approaching winter and a beautiful, sunny, clear cloud sky in the UK. So perfect time for the old sunrise sun gazing, getting that red light therapy, done plenty of that within the hour of the sunrise and now towards the midday sun with a little bit of UVA irradiating my bloodstream into the eyes and the ocular system. So sun gazing is really important for a lot of reasons at any time of day, especially in winter time. In winter time now, the sun is weak, so everyone's got no excuse not to do midday sun gazing going, oh, it hurts my eyes. It really doesn't. You should do it. It doesn't hurt your eyes. It's very easy. Now the sun is lower in the sky. Resets your circadian rhythms, helps you get that super deep sleep, the sun gazing at any time. It makes the brain coherent, so the alpha, theta and delta brainwaves of the brain are going to be firing together in orchestra harmony, removes depression. Depression is incoherent brainwaves. And basically sun gazing is brain training. It's training for the brain specifically. It does everything for every part of the organs of the body, but it does a lot for the... It's beautiful, and I feel blissful whenever I do sun gazing. It's fucking magical. And yeah, I would read another book on sun gazing, because my first one wasn't as comprehensive in knowledge as what I know now on it. So, yeah, but anyway, let me get to the point. Raw versus polished crystals. The difference and how I see it in... I mean, there's going to be obvious stuff here, right? Obviously, raw would have a lot more benefits, you'd think. But actually, I see it differently a little bit in a way. I see there's a benefit to polished crystals that are not apparent to raw crystals. And hear me out, and I'll explain why in a bit. David High, by the way, who interviewed yesterday, who, you know, had a go, but said, you know, he definitely made me think about it, you know, the raw crystals versus one we're in now, which is the polished. So, yeah, crystals are very powerful anyway, we know that. Negative ions are one of the keys to health, right? Getting abundant negative ions into your system, into your body, either through the air, through your water, distilled water, through your urine, holy shit, I hate urine, through the ground, skin contact, even through being in nature, being in a park with the trees. They put the negative ions in, being in the countryside, being at the beach, that kind of the water. They can't remember the effect. The Lehner effect, is it? Can't remember, whatever it's called. But I think it's called the Lehner effect, or something like that. The sea creates negative ions by the interactions of water crashing on a surface. It's pretty crazy. And crystals, for that reason, crystals do different things, and it's brilliant that there's mastery now of like, oh, lapis or green aventurine. They all do different things for your spirituality. I love that angle of it, you know, does different things for your personality. Tiger's eye for money. You know, this is great, but the foundation that everyone should understand, and I'll keep making videos on this, and God knows I've made a lot already, is crystals, the foundation benefit is, the most important benefit is, they all have a high generation of negative ions structured. Just like humans are extremely structured, an ill person is less structured or gets ill, and a healthy human like us is more highly structured because we do sunlight therapy, grounding, and all these kind of things. Well, crystal is far more structured than the highest form of human. It's got an ultimate crystal lattice, right? A lot of stress and tension in a good way. This generates abundant negative ions from all types of crystals. Now, I might agree with you that some crystals produce more, but just understand at the foundational level, the main benefit of crystals comes from the of negative ions into your system. They, like a raw piece of whatever, is going to put it into the air, negative ions. So all crystals put into the air negative ions, which is why we have them around the room, and which is why one advantage of raw is possibly I would concede, raw crystals probably have a high amount of negative ions. I think the process of polishing a crystal takes away some of the negative ions. Now, I know that there's advantages to polished crystals, so it doesn't remove it completely, because crystals are amazingly structured beings. You can't split it and damage it in that way. It will harm it a little bit, but it still produce a lot of negative ions. So raw, advantage number one to a raw is it will have more negative ions displaced into the air, into your room, or even... But, right, here's the thing, and why I'm on polished crystals and bracelets. I've got my black twin. I just bought them, £28 worth, and I'm not going to lose it this time. I've been on and off with crystals. I keep losing them. My parents keep chucking away. This time I'm going to keep them on me. So I want to talk about the benefits of polished, because polished crystals, the ones I'm wearing now, right? Bracelets and necklaces, well, guess what? You can't put them on your body. Well, you can actually, but the ones that, most of the bracelets and necklaces that are sold are polished. Well, there's an advantage to having crystals, not just in your room, like a raw piece in your room. There's a way to use crystal therapy, in my opinion, that's the best. That is to have it on your body, skin contact 24/7. Why? Because now, instead of having a raw piece in your room, which is changing the aura and emitting negative ions, yes, I'll concede, but having even a polished piece on your body, what's that doing? Well, we know what grounding does when we put skin contact with the earth. Well, same with crystals. When you have crystal contact with your skin, not only is it being released into the air around you, up your nose, and everyone gets the benefit, it's also going into my skin, which is one of the most... So, I'll this video. Sorry, I played up for a second. But yes, you want polished pieces. I mean, I guess, I don't know, guys, but I think you can probably get raw pieces that are raw bracelets and necklaces, maybe, on raw things, but most of the things they sell with crystals are polished bracelets and necklaces. And I don't see a problem with that, because I see it as more advantageous to your health to to use polished, but have that skin on your body 24/7 from the polished pieces, because that's getting negative ions into the air, and that skin contact is all important for maximization of negative ions into your system. That's my belief, and that's not my belief. I wear them and I know the difference between having polished pieces on me, sleeping with them on. It's just very powerful. You want that skin contact. So not just in the air, it comes into the skin through the thing. Same as grounding. Trees and nature produce the negative ions. Being in a park will produce the negative ions. Being in the mountains and will produce negative ions in the air you breathe. But why not do double the grounding, you know, skin contact? Why not have the skin contact? That's why crystals bracelets, by the way, they weren't made just to look nice. Let's be honest here. Crystal bracelets and necklace, all they do look nice. I'm pretty sure they were made for health reasons. The health reasons being you're getting negative ions. You're flooding your body with negative ions every time. Subtly. You're flooding your body subtly on an ongoing basis with negative ions, which is really important. And especially important because I've got the heating on in my room. I have to, my dad doesn't. I've got the positive ions coming in here, so I've got to do stuff to mitigate the damage of unhealthy air, positive ions. And one way is the crystal bracelets on your person all the time. It may be showering, you take them off, but certainly while you're sleeping. And these are cheap. I get them cheap. Yeah, they're polished and cheap, and it's impure, and I recognise it's harming the crystals. I'm not at that level of vibration. You know, I'm trying to do the best I can for myself, and raw pieces definitely have their advantages too, and probably do have, like I said earlier, probably more negative ion production, but the polished pieces are good for... what I do is I do raw crystals if you've got the money for it in your rooms and your vicinity. But on your body skin contact, I would get crystal bracelets and necklaces, both, and I would get the polished crystal necklaces and bracelets. Get the polished pieces, they're cheap enough, and you can get loads. Like I got 3 on one arm, 3 on another arm, 2 here. I can buy some more if these go missing. I don't really care, like I said at the beginning. I'm not particularly caring, although I acknowledge the mastery of like crystals do different things, and that's worth experimenting with. But I'm more like the foundation is negative ion structure. And they give off infrared light too. That's another thing I didn't touch base with. They give off infrared light. It's not black tourmaline. All of them pretty much give off infrared. Yes, to varying amounts. So an infrared light frequency, you know that red light therapy, the one that's the infrared light frequencies that come up just before sunrise and after sunset. The sun's predominantly that. Very powerful. You should try it. Like being outside before sunrise and after sunset, you'll know infrared light therapy is legit. So crystals also do that, and guess what? The infrared light, when it hits your skin contact, again, there's no barrier. It's just going straight into your skin. Infrared light therapy on top of negative ions. How amazing is that? And probably there's 20 more things that I haven't even talked about that are going to come out in the future on how amazing crystals are. But it's lovely, and it's a subtle thing. You know, don't expect a massive shift if you never use crystals, and you know, and they just subtly work their magic, and if you've got it on your person, skin contact 24/7, it's subtly doing amazing things for you. Do you know how I look at it? Crystals are like grounding. When you're not earthed and grounded, either because you can't or you're too lazy, or whatever reason, and you've got no place to ground at the time, or you're just too embarrassed or whatever, you should definitely have the crystals, because that does the same thing with the negative ions. One or the other, and then both. But yes, never not, like, say you have to be in the centre, so you have to go and visit your family, you can't ground, see the cinema, all these things. You can have the negative ions going in, health going in, so that's it. Tracy, appreciate it. And I know you're big on crystals. I'm not really the guy to go to for crystals. That was just my opinion on the benefits and the foundational pieces of crystals. And I do love people's masteries on that stuff. It's just beyond the scope of my little brain to handle too much on what each one does, and the varying things they have on and influences on your personality and emotions and subtle shifts like that. I'm more like foundational. So there. Yes. And yeah, they do. I don't. Even with me, I'm just like, oh, it's a crystal. It looks cool. I'll buy it. I don't really like it. You know, looks good. Well, I don't even care about looks good really. They're all the same to me. You know, even though they're not. So that's not my mastery, as I said. Yeah, Petra, that's good stuff. Bathing in them is very powerful too. And putting them in your distilled water before I go. Putting them in your distilled water. Plop them in. Ones that you need to check on Google which ones can. I mean, Petra, I'm guessing the rose quartz. Yeah, moonstone smoky quartz. Clear quartz too, I think. Amethyst can go in water, citrine, carnelian can go in water, these ones can go in water. There's a couple that can't, most of them can, but just make sure before you put them in either your bath or your distilled water, which does enhance the water you're drinking, the vibration, plus the negative ions too, be sure that it doesn't get damaged in water, because you don't want that, not only the crystal get damaged, you'll be drinking a lot of crap, like I think fluorite might be one that's bad. Fluorite might be one, not just because of fluorite, I just think there's a couple that really don't put in water. Most of them though are okay, so check that before you do that. Alright, peace, foundation, and love on this blessed fucking Friday. Hope everyone has a nice weekend, and yeah, look into getting both raw crystals and polished crystals for your body, and raw crystals for your rooms if you can. And of course, if you're on a low budget, then raw crystals are going to cost more than polished crystals. Do what you can, and don't feel guilty, and don't let anyone make you feel guilty about, oh, but you know, polished crystals, it's damaging the crystals and all that stuff. We're all trying our best on this planet, on whatever we live on. We're all trying our best, and we don't need people judging us and making us feel bad. It's like same with diet. You know, you're trying your best with your diet and all the things you know are good, and you're fucking up. Don't let them talk to David about this yesterday. Don't let people make you feel bad, because at the end of the day, it's worse for your health to feel like you're fucking up with diet, with damaging crystal nerve. It's worse for you to feel bad about yourself, because that's damaging your health more than, you know, than actually fucking up or not doing the best you can do. So you do the best you can do, let go, and realize you're an imperfect creature in this imperfect world, and everything's not perfect. You know, if you're not doing everything right, fine. If your diet's not perfect, fine. If you're not buying crystals and they're damaging, you know, you're buying polished crystals, forgive yourself. That's what you're here for. Yeah, to forgive yourself. I forgive myself. I fuck up all the time. I'm not perfect. I'm not. I'm really not. Oh, and yeah. Oh, Tracy and Petra. Yes, Shungite best crystals. I must admit, well, that is one of the best. I used to have it. I'm going to buy it again. That is one of the top quality. If you're going for top quality of the expensive, and especially the elite Shungite. If you really can, you've got the money, go for the elite Shungite. That's a really powerful one. And that, you put elite Shungite in your water, in your aged urine, holy shit. If you put it on, you buy Shungite for your necklaces. Actually, Shungite, even polished Shungite, put it on as a necklace is a very powerful one too. There's books written specifically on a Shungite, which would suggest, and the studies are done, which suggest it's one of the top crystals. You can foundationally, do what you can with the money you've got, and all crystals are amazing anyway, so, but just, yeah. So yeah, alright, peace. Have a nice day, and hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Peace. Nice weekend.